They took the crew back to the same spot where they said they saw the creature. With them was Bigfoot researcher David Wilbanks and local journalist Cindy Baer, who had been investigating this phenomena for years. No one could have predicted what they would encounter.
You want to back up? Because I feel like backing up.
We don't want to force you to be out here.
No, I'm out here on my own free will, but I'll tell you what, this isn't what I expected tonight. Part of me wanted to tell myself that we wouldn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that's not true now.
That part's not talking right now, is it?
No,
But seriously, we're not trying to force you to stay out here.
I understand.
Okay.
You know, one of the main reasons I came out was to face what I was afraid of. And common sense says there's something out there.
We were not drinking, and it wasn't a trick of light, you know. I think it was very real what we saw.
What was it that the group had seen and heard? There were rocks hitting tree trunks and movements in the brush, and several of them even saw what they thought was a large, dark shape moving from side to side, just 100 yards away from them. But at night, out there in the wilderness, your eyes and your ears can play tricks on you.
I saw their eyes. They truly believed they saw something, and it frightened Jeff to the point he didn't want to have to go back to that place. And I stood next to them when we heard rocks and rustling. So, are they lying? No, I don't think so. I think they believe something. Me, though, I want to see it.
Even experienced people can see things in the woods unclearly enough that they can't explain what they actually saw. And once you've heard of Bigfoot and so forth, it's a very likely explanation for what you saw, even if it doesn't exist.
Get out of there, it stood up.
As they were packing up to leave, another rock was thrown into the back of one of the support trucks. Someone or something seemed to be playing with them. Was whatever Dan and Jeff saw still there?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Is that a rock?
I was standing right here when it did, yeah.
On the cave. Yeah, it's been nice chatting for walking along the street. Dan was on this side. All of us heard it land right in the truck.
I heard it too.
The morning after, the team were told that there had been a sighting on a farm just outside Antlers, due south of them. Cindy Baer met with the farmers, Clint and Gary Morgan, and they agreed to take the crew to the spot where they had seen what they thought was a Bigfoot striding across an open field in the moonlight. After dark, the group set off to investigate.
I don't know. It was huge.
It was, yeah.
It was huge.
The moon might have been out a little brighter that night.
Yeah, but it was, I mean,
you could definitely see that it was a huge
yeah.
brown or black-colored creature.
You know, it got to probably right in here, and it literally just took one hand here and just stepped over the fence. I mean, it was, you know, it was a very agile creature.
We're real close to some river bottoms here. This is Sandy Creeks, which is a tributary of Muddy Boggy, and it's what I would figure to be a prime location for a Bigfoot to be.
We're literally in the middle of nowhere.
So, how far from the nearest town?
Oh, I'd say at least 10 miles. I mean, we're 10 miles from the nearest town. Easy.
So you see this creature and you scream. Anybody gonna hear you?
Absolutely not. There's nobody gonna hear you out here. This is pretty wilderness. I mean, you know, we've got a little open field here and stuff like this, but basically there's no houses, no human beings for miles.
So wherever it walked off to, it could still be out there?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Is this the initial area where we think we heard some movement?
The team sets up a stakeout high in the Kiamishi Mountains, coming up on Bigfootville. To some people here in southeastern Oklahoma, Bigfoot is much more than just a legend. Dozens of people claim that these creatures are stalking their property out here, peering in their windows, and even stealing meat from freezers outside. There is even a report of a man shooting at one which had gotten too close to his cabin.
One night, something hit the house really hard. It shook the whole house, so we all went to see what had caused the noise. And when we got there, we had a dining room window that was pretty good ways off the ground, and something passed by it that had to have been awfully tall and pretty big because it covered the entire window when it went by, and it was hairy. But as far as what it was, don't ask me, I have no idea.
I thought it was a cow at first. And I said, well, that cow's tangled up in that fence in the snow or whatever. And about that time, it stood up and walked across the road. It covered the road in about probably 3 steps. It went over the side, and I'm screaming at my wife. She's off in the book. And she looks up, she said, well, what was that? You know, I don't know. And we turn around. We turn back around, and there's nothing going through the brush.
It was walking across the hayfield. And I know we were scared, and it was between us and our house. And I remember that much, you know, seeing this hairy, it had a lot like fur, like darker colored. I don't remember if it was black or brown but it was fairly large, probably, oh, I don't know, the size of a man. And it was just up, and it came out across the hayfield, you know, and went off into the woods.
He was probably 7.5 to 8 foot tall, reddish brown hair, but I did not smell any odor. Everybody said, did you smell an odor? And I saw him for probably 5 or 6 seconds. He just walked just like a man would.
Could be some people playing around like that. Could be teenagers. It could be people who think they're still teenagers, but they're adults. You know, people who just want to play a practical joke. That might be part of it, yes.
I believe there's more than one, because when my dad was in college, him and his college buddies were out camping, and they came into his camp.
I think a Bigfoot might could survive, but I think it's highly unlikely. I think most of that, people are hearing owls crying, possibly mountain lions. There may be an occasional mountain lion that comes through. We have lots of coyotes. They make sounds that interest people, and sometimes people may misinterpret those.
Many of the reports of Bigfoot sightings have come out of the Kiamishi Mountain area in southeastern Oklahoma. They're covered in millions of acres of forests, deep valleys, and creeks. In spite of the ever more intensive logging operations and the hunting season, much of the area is still untouched wilderness. And there are those who believe that it's possible that a creature the size of Bigfoot could hide out and survive here.
Well, we're in the mountains of southeast Oklahoma, which is the most remote area left in the state. And there's a lot of local wildlife, indigenous wildlife, like, you know, there's bear. We could see a bear, bobcat, coyotes, you know, possums, raccoons. There's just a lot of wildlife here.
The crew leased this cabin high in the mountains with one simple aim: to stake out whatever creature this was in its own backyard. With them was David Wilbanks and local journalist Cindy Baer, who had been investigating the sightings for years. The crew had set up an array of state-of-the-art night vision and remote camera technology. Whatever was out there, they hoped to capture it on film. 19 different infrared camera angles were positioned around the cabin, and 3 crews with night vision in the surrounding woods.
Yeah, if there's something out there, I think it would be a real good thing, this technology, because it gives us a window onto the woods without actually bodily intruding into the woods. So we're not out there for it to smell or to sense there.
As darkness fell, so did the temperature. An ice storm had dropped it to way below freezing. Dave Wilbanks took control of the remote camera units in the woods and scanned the monitors for any sign of movement.